Bill Cooper, I'm talking to you from my heart. When I'm on the radio, I am on a mission. And that mission is to slap people upside the head and wake them up and even make them hate me, if that's what it takes to get them to go examine what I'm telling them to find out that it's right.
The truthfulness of what you're about to hear. Because it is so important not only that you understand it and believe it, but that you act upon it.
And now we're being bombarded with messages that Osama bin Laden is planning to attack the United States of America. And I'm telling you, be prepared for a major attack. But it won't be Osama bin Laden. It will be those behind the New World Order.
I did not believe that the government would use me in that way. I had devoted my whole life to government service. I had been in the Air Force. I was in the Navy. I was a river patrol boat captain in Vietnam. But over the years, I've done a lot of research. And what I've discovered is there's no proof existing anywhere that extraterrestrials are real or that have ever visited this planet.
The right track is don't believe anybody. Don't believe me. Don't believe George Bush. Don't believe anyone. You got to go out and you got to get proof in your hand before you can believe anything. And to do otherwise today is the biggest mistake that anyone can ever make. One of the biggest misconceptions in this country is what this country is all about, who founded it, for what purpose, and most specifically, what it is that we're all looking for.
There is no such thing as an ozone layer. What is it called? Because what are these? These are ions. Ozone is an ion of oxygen. It's called the ionosphere. So why don't these freako-environmentalist liars call it what it is, the ionosphere? Because it would be the truth, and we can all prove that the ionosphere is not disappearing. You watch me every day of my life. If anything happens to me, you don't have to do any more research. You know damn well everything I'm telling you is true. And they don't want you to know that, so they're not going to touch me unless they can make it look like an accident where you will believe that it's an accident. And I'm telling you right now, they know how to make people die of heart attacks, strokes, brain hemorrhages. Why won't you believe millions of people?
And they definitely do. But Bill Cooper there, they shot Bill. So, what do I want to do here with this? Tonight I just want to freestyle a video. Maybe I'll do more. We'll see how this goes. I would probably want to do more of a presentation style to kind of keep it more flowy, but I know this is going to be a freestyle and just kind of dropping clips and pics and vids and stuff like that. Just sharing some information. Definitely what I do want to do is I will pick on some NASA stuff. Any of the information I share tonight is just to not make any converts, not to make any new conspiracy theorists or anything like that, but to just share information, to share research, like Bill Cooper there. One day, I decided I wanted to know why I believed the things I believed in, and why I went into the military, why I gave into the beliefs of the Bible at a young age, why I believed in like the Messiah but didn't understand what that meant. I just started this Zetetic vision quest, just this path of inquiry on everything. But of course, as a vet, and my perspective and how I view life in the world, and as a veteran, I mean, that I had a specific questions that I wanted to ask. So, and that's where I'm going to try to share tonight. And I'm definitely going to pick on the low-hanging fruit, that which is NASA. Even for me, from a biblical perspective, I would say NASA is a stumbling block to truly understand what's going on in the scriptures. So, and I'll get into that, and I'll try to define more of what I mean by that, and what I mean by a biblical perspective or biblical worldview. But to do this properly, I believe I need to start with some history and stuff that I could find common ground with on people. And to do that, we're going to start with, well, the basis of what we have as NASA today, and Operation Paperclip. I'm sure many people know about Operation Paperclip, but anything I talk about tonight, I'm going to try to talk about it like I'm the only person that knows this, and I'm definitely not. But let's get into it. This is Annie Jacobson. She wrote a book on Operation Paperclip. Let me see if I can do this real quick. I actually came across her book, found it in a consignment shop, along with another pretty cool book that was written on the CIA. But this is her book. She wrote, I think it came out in, I think, was it 2012 or 2014 or something like that? If it says. But I came across this book. I think I found it in 2019, maybe even 2020. Either way, it's a good book. It's a good find. The book that I found was laced. Every single page was notes and little Easter eggs. You know, this person and this person worked here. This person and this organization. Look into this. Check this person. Where did this person come from? So it's pretty fascinating. But this is her on Joe Rogan, and she's going to start talking about these specific Nazis that the U.S. took from Nazi Germany when Nazi Germany fell. Why I'm showing this is, number one, because she's going to, and I'm going to go through skim through this a little bit, but she's going to unpack of why these guys were not the good guys, and that the American people have always been sold a lie on this stuff to accept it. We get told what's going on and that what the truth is, so we can support what the government is choosing to do. Same thing with the wars. Maybe we'll get into some of that tonight. We'll see. But let's unpack Annie. She's gonna explain the Nazis. They were not the good guys that we took, or the ones we took were also not good guys.
Pull up, Jamie. Pull up.
I got a couple. What's his name?
Well, you can pull up Dr. Blum, Bolme. But also,
look at that big ass scar on his face.
And also, if you pull up Kurt Debus, who was the director of our JFK Center. He was NASA's von Braun's number 2. He had a huge dueling scar, and yet when there he is right there. Knowing what we know now, it's like, come on, you're trying to tell me that guy's not a hardcore Nazi?
So those guys had dueling scars on their faces.
Yeah, you see him.
How often did they duel?
Well, when they were in college,
to the death.
No. It was like on guard, and then they would
fencing.
Fencing.
Oh, this guy had it too.
Yeah.
How did they not get poked in the eyes?
Oh, I guess that was the gentleman's rules.
How do you listen, you go in for the cheek, you hit the eye. Like, that's happens all the time. I mean, they must have cut a lot of eyeballs out.
I haven't seen any photographs of missing eyeballs, but there's a lot right on the cheek. So maybe that was the whole point. It was actually just a bit for show.
Oh.
Right?
How weird.
But it was
a badge of honor.
It was a badge of honor. Yeah.
There's more.
But
wow, so they all had it on their face.
Yeah.
It's all in the same spot, dueling scars.
Yeah.
Wow.
So imagine,
so they wanted to have these scars.
That was
Jesus Christ. Oh, they had goggles on.
Oh, there you go. That's how they didn't take out the
academic
eyeballs.
fencing, it says. Academic fencing. So what they were essentially doing, they were having fencing matches with real swords, not with ones with tips.
Okay.
Wow. And cutting their faces up. Fuck, man. Oh, Jesus, look at this guy's face. Yikes. Wow, dueling cults. That is crazy.
So when you consider that people did not know about that, and then you've got these Germans walking around America as part of our space program and our science programs, and these are the good Germans. I mean, now you really have to say to yourself, come on, guys.
They were all Nazis.
Right?
Big ass fucking scars on their face.
Absolutely.
Wow. Oof. That's dark, man.
OG Fight Club.
Yeah, right. OG.
Don't talk about Fight Club.
There's Davis with his huge dueling scar. And I'm like, and their position was, he's one of the good Germans.
Well, that culture was a culture of ruthlessness. I mean, it was even the good ones. There he is.
Yes. Yeah. Good job, Jamie. Look at that. Can you believe that?
Scar on his face.
They still give out an award, by the way, that's called the Kurt Debus Award. And I rang them up and said, why are you guys giving out this award? He was a hardcore Nazi.
What do they say?
They were like, they've hemmed and hawed, and I finally said, well, at least tell me what you say to people who ask that question. You know what they said?
What?
No one's ever asked us that question before, Annie.
Well, they will now. Jeez.
Yeah, well, we'll see. Because again, like, it doesn't take long to look into this stuff to see how obvious this stuff is. And I mean, and most Americans know that the government's always been up to something, but those same most Americans just whatever. You know what I mean? We got taxes and football games to watch, so who cares? But to keep going, this is something that I put together, but I got more on this to. I'm trying not to just say and claim uh, information without backing any of it. So, and I'll try to back up as much as I can. Doing this freestyle, like I said, I'm just picking stuff out that I have. But it's not too hard to see and understand that the Nazis were chasing. They're chasing old world tech. They were Hitler was sending his guys out and going to India and reading ancient Sanskrit. That's where these ideas come from. The swastika, their whole theology of becoming Aryan. Like, now, of course, they're trying to. Yes, he tried to make that now immediate. The whole point of the Aryan and all that becoming light. It's not about white people. It's not about the white race. It's coming back as light. It's their whole theology. But it's not what the Nazis were. Well, what this is, what the Hindus actually believed in, the ancient Hindus, is being repackaged, is what happened in Nazi Germany to fit at that time would be New Age for that period. The swastika, all these flying machines, the Nazi Bell Project. So I put this here. That's what they call it, the Nazi Bell Project, because of what this looks like. This is nothing new under the sun. And I'll try to show also with like Da Vinci. Da Vinci was given credit for a lot of crafts and tanks and flying machines and stuff like that. And I love Da Vinci. He's one of my favorite, old school Renaissance artists or whatever. But he wasn't the originator of those ideas. And I'll try to show some more here in a second. But these are all ancient Vimanas. These come from ancient Hindu. These are all over their writings. There's all over their buildings, their temples. It's in 4,000-year-old texts. I'm going to play a clip here in a minute to help kind of back that up, to show that modern PhD, philosopher, Sanskrit, translators, all that stuff are translating text that are over 4,000 years old, and they're explaining that these machines, the flying machines, which Vimana just means to transverse, to fly. No one, they had Mercury engines, and some of these were obviously they're like Bell. Some of them were the size of cities that they could hold thousands of people, and then others were smaller type crafts that the descriptions that you'll hear from that's being read from these texts, I mean, they match up with what we see, with what we've been shown over the last however long with the UFOs, that they're either blacked out or they're whited out, and their ability to move, all that stuff. It's literally what's being explained in these texts that are 4,000 years old, and it's fascinating. We'll get into it. Again, Vimanas, and I'll try to show this and throughout the other videos, other than this one that I hopefully will do, to show that all this, like all ancient worldviews, believed in this. All ancient worldviews believed in flying machines. They all had them. Or at least they all talked about them. And we'll get there. But again, this is ancient India. This is ancient Assyria, and or like Samaria and some Babylon stuff, but specifically Assyria. And another one, same kind of concept. And if people, they call it a lot of, this is where like the Anunnaki, the late night history channel stuff comes in. They want to call these aliens, and it's just aliens, Nah, these are flying machines. Same thing here. Here's some modern Vimanas, flying transversing machines, or well, they claim they are. And lo and behold, here's a craft that was made by our U.S. Air Force in '58 that flew, and that supposedly, I think it was this one, but there was another one that was also made that also had a Mercury engine. And I'm going to show some other stuff that the Nazis were chasing, that these supposedly had Mercury engines, or at least that's what they were working on. So again, it's fascinating stuff, and let's get to this clip and show some other stuff. Again, here's just some more imagery for the swastika, and that it's always been around. It's never been this what even America. If you drew a swastika on the wall, you know exactly what's going to happen to you, or said to you, or any of that. But to everyone else in the world, the ancient world before Nazi Germany, everyone else knew what this symbol was. But it's been messed with. But it's been in every culture. Some cultures, they believe it's, or they think and say it's the Big Dipper in all 4 seasons. And I thought I had a picture. If I can find that picture, I will of it. But yeah, it's some just, they think it's the Big Dipper in all 4 seasons because that's the shape it makes. Inside that shape, and I just shouldn't have got rid of that picture. But all these symbols mean things. This is Saturn, and we'll probably get there. But inside of this box, inside this is the swastika. Is also inside this symbol. And it's just been taken. Nazi Germany hijacked a lot of stuff from the ancient world. This was the temple in Pergamum that's mentioned in Revelation 2, where I thought I pulled that up as well, where Antipas was killed. And I'll see if I can find that real quick. It's the brazen bull. And this is what is being talked about in Revelation 12 with Antipas being mentioned and killed. Where? And this is what happened to Antipas, if you're familiar with the story, which, I mean, you only get a glimpse, a little snapshot of what they're talking about. But this is what they're talking about when he was killed and how they killed him at the Temple of Zeus. And this is Hitler's parade field, and that he sent one of his architects all over the world to recreate this stuff. So again, it's all fascinating. More. Forgot about this one. And this guy, he was also a Hindu god. Back to the square being with Saturn. And like, this imagery is everywhere. I mean, it really is. It's just the cult imagery. Like, there's only so many things to choose from in this world to, represent what you want to be represented. And the occult continues to choose the occult. And I got one more. I had another to show. Do this. And like, even this right here. And while I look for this other picture, this is in France in 1937. If you can see my cursor, and these are dudes. These are guys standing at the base of these. So you can see how huge these were. These, well, I'm going to call it a staff because of what I'm about to show you. But this is Osiris. This is his staff. Oh man, come on. Don't do that to me. This right here and that. This is called the Djed. And also in the Book of the Dead and a few other places, this is also called the backbone of Osiris. Now, this is also in every ancient worldview. It's just depicted differently. You usually always see it with these three, with the Ankh, the staff, and the Djed together. And most people are familiar with this. So the Ankh, I mean, I don't think it's too hard either to understand that the Ankh wasn't a physical. Yes, that's the symbol, but even like with the Tesla coil, and I can show you with other. I'll try to find the clip. That this wasn't a. That this was the symbol for this, what they were creating, or however they were creating it. That this is what it represented. That I believe the ancient world tech, or the ancient world had tech, and they could create these things. So that's what this is representing. And that I would just say, and not to get in too much, because I have a presentation and I don't want to give too much away of a presentation I'm working on that deals specifically with this and like the beasts of Revelation and other topics that will go into this. But again, we're back, so I don't stay on track here. Hitler was chasing ancient world tech. They were making copies. If they believed for sure what they were doing or not, they were making copies of what they were seeing in the ancient world. Not exact blueprints. They had their own artistic expression. Even with the swastika is tilted. It's not square like it usually is in the ancient world. So just to continue to point things out with the Germans and what they were doing, chasing the old world tech, we'll get into I'm missing, there it is. Now we're going to get into Sean Griffin here with Kingdom in Context and Wesblaze Music. Sean here is going to read some texts that are 4,000 years old that are from ancient India.
Mm-hmm. The Bode professor of Sanskrit at Oxford University in England in 1890 translated the word Vimana as the chariot of the gods. But we're not talking about the God of heaven and earth. No. We're talking about other gods, Nephilim gods. So it goes on to say, this is some of the writing of ancient India, specifically in it's the Bhagavad Gita Maratha, I think is what it's called, speaking about different types of Vimanas, what they called flying craft of the gods. The Pushpaka Vimana was a gigantic plane the size of a large city, entirely capable of holding unlimited numbers of people, as stated by Professor D.K. Kanjalal's observations of the Matsya Purana, which is one of their Vedic texts, their religious texts. So guys, this is telling you that they had massive, what did we see Wesblaze in movies like Independence Day?
Yeah. I mean, so many of them.
A big plane that could be an entire city by itself.
That would fill up the entire camera angle view of the sky, at least. So yeah, a massive city-sized craft. And as big as this creation is, it would not, I wouldn't put it past the elite to have something like that hidden.
That's right. And they go on to expound about what these things were, how they worked. There's an incredible amount of information in ancient Sanskrit that details who flew them, how they were used for war, how they controlled people, how they were given to the gods. And so right here it says in Sanskrit in the Samaranganana Sutradhara, I don't think I said that right.
You did pretty good.
It's an ancient Vedic text, and it says it's written that the strong and durable must the body of the Vana be made, like a great flying bird of light material. Inside, one must put the mercury engine with its iron heating apparatus underneath. By means of the power latent in the mercury, which sets the driving whirlwind in motion. The what? The
Driving whirlwind.
Mercury engine sets the driving whirlwind in motion. What do we see from all these UFO sightings? That these planes or these craft that are moving through the clouds are usually spinning. I got a picture.
Yeah. Okay, I got
later.
you.
Yeah,
And
so
it's reminiscent also of like when Ezekiel is caught up into the heaven. It's like a fake of that, like a
right.
Yeah.
So he goes on to say, driving a whirlwind in motion, a man sitting inside may travel a great distance in the sky. The movements of the Vimana are such that it can vertically ascend and vertically descend, and moving slanting forwards. These descriptions are incredible. Moving slanting forwards and backward. With the help of the machines, human beings can fly in the air, and heavenly beings can come down to earth.
All right.
Interesting.
How interesting. How old would you say this? Like
these
ago?
texts are supposed to be 3,000 to 4,000 years old.
Have mercy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Long
We're
before
talking-
the modern invention of electricity, right?
Right. We're talking Tower of Babel days, guys. So at Rama's, here's another quote from some of their writings. At Rama's behest, the magnificent chariot rose up to a mountain of cloud with a tremendous din. That word din means like a tremendous blast of power.
Okay.
Another passage reads, the Bhima flew with his Vimana on an enormous ray, which was as brilliant as the sun and made a noise like the thunder of a storm.
Like a ray of light.
It sounds like a rocket blast, right?
Yeah.
He flew like
fire.
Fire array. So these are just a few descriptions. It goes on to say in another passage, according to the Dranaparva, part of the Mahabharata and the Ramayana, one Vimana described was shaped like a sphere, and it borne along at great speed on a mighty wind generated by Mercury. And that also is referred to as Quicksilver. Mercury is also known in history as Quicksilver. So, wow. Right. It's telling you that it has propulsion according to this Mercury. We're going to go into that in a minute and how NASA uses it. I'm actually going to show you guys later NASA's when the actual ion propulsion Mercury engine that NASA invented in the 70s and gave to the Smithsonian. I got a picture of it.
Okay.
So I'm so sorry. It says by harnessing the powers, the Yasa, the Vyasa, the Prayayasa in the 8th atmospheric layer covering the Earth to attract the dark content of the solar ray and use it to hide the Vimana from the enemy.
Bruh.
Guys.
Stealth technology.
Guys, what are we looking at? This is the official Navy photo released in the United States of the UAP, the unidentified aerial phenomenon.
Blacked out.
UFO. It's blacked out. How many of these have we seen where they're blacked out? And you wonder, why are they blacked out? Why can't I get any description of them? Why can't I see?
There's no details in it, right? Yeah. It takes the dark content of the
manipulating the
for anime
front of the Vimana. And by its manipulation, they can make that shine, that glow, as camouflage over the Vimana.
Yeah, because it's not blacked out there; it's whited out, and that is we see that in
we see that all the time.
Videos. Yep,
all these home videos of people catching these glowing orbs going through the sky at crazy speeds of the define left, right, up, down, define physics. So
the same technique with the light.
So watch this, guys. I'm not going to go through the whole video. We'll cut to about right here, and watch what happens. This is just some random dude filming up.
Whoa. That was nuts.
Yeah.
Whoever's filming this is like, you can tell he's like maneuvering to try to keep it in focus, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's about to do something crazy, right? And it's exactly what we just read, guys. How these Mercury engines can create this type of thrust. Ion propulsion.
I would be shook as well.
Yeah.
Here it goes.
What's he gonna do?
You think it's gonna disappear? It starts to shine.
Oh!
Oh.
Who was that? Was that from the audio of the video? Or
yeah, that was the random guy that was filming it.
He said, "Oh, wow, man!"
Would have been spiritual. Like, how can
so
split?
They
I want to get that back in view what that looked like, because I'm gonna need. Oh, I got something to show. This right here. Let's go back a little further. Oh, come on. There. All right. So one thing I didn't show a second ago when I was talking about the Nazis, um, is what did pop up when all of these ideas started to come into Germany. That, and just like anything else, a new age, just like the stuff that the Nazis were pushing about being Aryan and the swastika and all that stuff, that came from ancient Hindu theology. So now what comes on the scene in what comes on the scene in modern Germany at the time is the new age religion, Vril, which they called Vril. And it's the same stuff that's being packaged throughout any of the other empires and nations that gave into occultism, which are all of them. So this is just stuff being repackaged, all the same symbolism. This is another thing I wanted to point out about all the symbolism. It's all the same. It's just being repackaged in a little different. But this right here and this are what we were just talking about, and I'll try to pull that picture back up. I wish I would have kept it up. With the staff. Matter of fact, where's the other ones? So with Osiris right here, his staff. This staff is the Egyptian version of this. This is a Vajra. I think I've got more in here. So this Vajra, again, is throughout all cultures. In the West, because of the Greek influence, we call it a trident. But this is the Vajra. So here's Zeus. This is either Marduk or Nergal. And this is, I can't remember this one from, I think it's Nepal. So these are all the same characters, just being expressed in different cultures differently. It's the same character being called something else because the languages are different, but it is the same character. Okay, so same thing. Here's just another updated version of this, the Vajra, and there's different styles of it. So this is Assyria, and I haven't seen any, or I haven't heard anybody else say this. So maybe this, I hope this, if I could have anything, maybe this could be "Thus says Wes." But this used to be the Assyrian flag, Assyria. And if you remember what the god I pointed out earlier, Asher, him here, that's what is his symbol as well. And I'll try to get to. This is the same thing. This is the ancient Assyrian flag. And imagine, instead of a Vajra, like a staff, or like this other version I showed you, imagine if it was the same concept, but the power of Osiris's staff, this character, who is Asher, has the same capability in his arrow. And very interesting, like I just said with Zeus and Marduk and the other character, those are the same character. This is the same exact character also, but in Assyria. So Osiris is Greek. The name, the word Osiris is not Egyptian. Osiris comes from the Greek. Osiris is the Greek transliteration of Asher, this guy. So again, we're getting different depictions and expressions of the same things. Another thing. So these are all the same characters being just described, just in different cultures. So this stuff is just making its way around the world and through time. And here we are with Nazi Vril. And this would be the Greta Thunberg of their time. If we just saw that Greta just got, and I'm going to pull it up, Greta just got a PhD from a theology department. So it's not people get mad when we pick on, the whole climate change thing and call it, a religion, with prophets and everything. Um, then we get called, whatever, conspiracy theorists and whatever. But she was given a doctorate of theology for the supposed science she pushes. So again, it's the same thing that happened with this chick. It doesn't take long, especially with Germany and Russia, to go back in history. Matter of fact, let's just do it here. I mean, come on, man. I can't remember the real chick's name, but again, it doesn't take long. It's there's nothing new under the sun, and we're gonna keep going. We're just trying to have fun. All right, we're definitely gonna get into this. Now I'm starting to have fun. This little image right here, I'm gonna show this little clip again, and this is from NASA's YouTube. Okay, anybody can go check out this video. I'm not the only one. That's pointed this out. I know I've only seen a few other people that have hit on this video, and some other people made some really cool videos off of this. But I just want to go raw dog and show that it's not manipulated. I don't have the capability to manipulate how this video is. Nobody does, because it's not manipulated. It's real. Again, this is NASA's YouTube. This video has 10,000 likes, and does it have the views on it? Either way. So, just at the beginning, just to get some context, supposedly, and you'll hear it here, that supposedly Endeavour has made a complete orbit around the Earth, and that the fuel tank is still falling to the Earth, and that they're just watching it fall. Doesn't make sense. I'm just going to play it, and then I'll get to the end of the video, which is why I really want to show it. And go to this video. Anything that I say and talk about and put forth, don't believe me. Don't believe anything I say. Don't believe one word I say. Test it. If you find this interesting, test it. Test me. If I'm wrong, tell me. Or let's have a discussion. But check this out.
And we got it. Looks great. Thanks.
Window from downlink video has opened up again, and so now we're seeing some more of that video of the external tank shot by Mike.
Oh, gotta get the window shot. So they're telling you right here that they're in low Earth orbit, right? So they're at least what, 250 miles up, I guess. ISS is 250 miles. So is this tank in low Earth orbit stuck between outer space and coming out of, or I'm sorry, stuck between low Earth orbit and falling normal speed to Earth? I don't know.
Endeavour's orbit earlier this morning.
And see right there, I'll play it again because I talked over it. But you just said that it's from earlier this morning.
External tank shot by Mike Fink after Endeavour's orbit earlier this morning.
Or I'm sorry, I think the video was shot earlier this morning. Sorry. So this tank, it's supposedly just floating around, falling away. I mean, it looks like a balloon to me. And it also looks like this isn't the ocean underneath these clouds. I believe that this person is in a craft, just looking up.
One thing is in your sleep config,
you can see the window. It's not a normal side window.
Step
So
6,
that's why the perspective looks like it is.
lists a few things to check the
But
power
they're
off
under
on.
this, I would say.
For your TV monitor
But this
power
is a
control
balloon.
unit, we would like you to
This is a
leave that
balloon.
on.
NASA
over.
has balloons that the texture, what they're made out of, is as strong as steel.
TV power control unit.
They're the
We've
biggest
got a note here that says
buyer
hand in command.
of helium. But let's get to why I really want to show you this video and why you should go check it out. And while this plays, I'm going to pull up some snapshots I took of this video. What was that? Right there. What is that? I've got some. Hold on one second. Let me pull this up. Now, I took some snapshots from this and messed with the levels to kind of highlight this craft. But this is what's going on. Not saying that it is exact, but the triangle shape, the whited out, I don't know, texture, its ability. I mean, if it is, let's say it is what Sean was just reading here about these Vimanas that have the ability to go blackout or whiteout, that they have the capability that how they are built, that they can use the light that is around them to hide themselves, which is fascinating. Here's another one, it's a different angle. And here's a craft that is also, you can find, I mean, this is from a Vedic text that was someone in, I can't remember how old this was, and I'll bring up some more because I made a point about Leonardo da Vinci, because people throughout like the throughout the 1700s were reading these texts and then drawing what they were reading. And so, I mean, this, again, I'm not saying that this is exactly that one or this is exactly the one that Sean just showed in that clip. I'm just pointing out the triangle and other similarities. But again, go check this video out and let me know. Or don't, and just start your own research. But this stuff is fascinating. It all comes from somewhere. Like, this is nothing new under the sun. There is nothing new under the sun. All right, so let's get into some more NASA. Again, I'm trying to, hopefully I'm making some sense out of this and gaining some support for these claims, because they're crazy. Again, this started out, I went on this whole Zetetic vision quest, whatever you want to call it, to, number one, it was to question, but it started out to prove these stupid idiots wrong, right? But now I'm one of those stupid idiots. Had a conversation on Facebook, I think it was 2015 or 2016, around when this kind of started, was that a guy, he went to high school with me, I think he was a year or two younger than I was, got in a conversation in a comment section on something, and he dropped something about flat earth and biblical cosmology, and of course my time and experience in the military, And I believed at the time I knew the Bible, and I just gave him the same excuses and knee-jerk reactions that everybody comes up with. Um, Number one, we can see the curve of the Earth from an airplane, which we cannot, and I'll show clips of how that is not true. And there's pilots from all walks of being a pilot, from commercial to fighter pilots, that will admit you cannot see the curve of the Earth from cruising altitude. And I have a clip where Neil deGrasse Tyson claims that even at the Red Bull jump, they were using fish-eye lenses, and even at 24 miles high, you cannot see the curve of the Earth. So if you cannot see the curve of the Earth from 24 miles high, then you cannot see it from cruising altitude, and you most definitely cannot see anything, the curve or anything go over a curve, at sea level. That's not how it works. We can't have both. I thought my time in the Navy was proof or evidence for me to be able to refute someone's claim for a flat stationary Earth, and it's not. We used to prove the globe Earth wrong all the time on Gunmount Watch, at night, reporting contacts that were 25 plus miles away. It doesn't work. It doesn't work that way. So enough of rambling. This is a funny clip. This is hilarious. This was the Apollo 17 launch interview with this guy's 130 years old. So another thing with even people my age and younger, that if we bring up something about NASA or the moon landing, there was people that were there. They watched it. They watched it on TV. So all these people were fooled. So all these people that watched it on TV saw a lie. Yeah, it's not too hard to really point this out. And one last fact about moon landing, about watching it on TV. Those that watched it on TV, they did not watch a live broadcast. TV stations that wanted to show the moon landing had to take their equipment to a studio and set their camera equipment up and film a television showing the moon landing. So that's why the moon landing footage of why it looks so trashy on television, because it was that era of cameras videoing that era of TV screen. So it wasn't a live feed. Nowhere was there a live feed. Supposedly there was a live feed to that one television that NASA put up for televisions to film, but there was no live feed to any stations. But most people know there wasn't a live feed, but most people don't know that TV stations had to go film a television. So here we are, Charlie Smith, 130-year-old, been around obviously for a while. And I find this even fascinating because what was this, 71, 72? He's 130 years old. He came into this world as a slave. So do the math. This is 71, 72. He's 130 years old. And watch this.
Communications with the...
Now, watch this. This is awesome because he is laying into him about something. You're going to see his face change. You can see him going off about something, and watch his face change. And then just listen to the conversation.
Spacecraft have been perfect. Here is Bruce Hall. He's with Charles Smith. He's a 130-year-old former slave who came to this country 118 years ago. He's here for the launch of Apollo 17. Bruce Hall, come in.
We have here among the VIPs one very unusual man. He's at least 130 years old. His name is Charles Smith. And do you believe it really happened? You said they would never go to the moon.
No, they ain't going there. I'll tell them that. And nobody don't believe it. No, ain't nobody going.
They didn't go to no moon. I'd even tell them that.
No moon? No. What they gonna stop up there? What gonna hold that plane up in the air? What is gonna hold it up there? The moon ain't gonna hold it.
So right there, he goes, "What's gonna hold that plane up there? The moon ain't gonna hold it." Right. And what's our answer? Well, it's gravity, sir. It's gravity. It's math problems. It's this whole thing. It's a force we can't feel. It's math problems. Astrophysicists had to figure it out. or sorry, not astrophysicist, but an alchemist with a little apple falling out of the tree had to figure it out. So how you get attracting mass from an apple falling out of a tree, I don't know. But academia, it makes sense when we just put math problems on the board and just uh, you know academically intimidate others because you don't know better, someone else does. Where it's a technocracy.
Oh, they've been before.
There's a bunch of money, of course, I don't blame them for getting it. Just like when the first man killed the president, the first president that was killed, Guitar killed Garfield. There's something they had him. I brought him back. Said, bring it dead or alive. I got him.
They brought back rocks.
Now that was couldn't really understand it. I think he's trying to make a comparison of something that's like factual, meaning, like he said, it sounded like he meant like someone's either dead or alive, and I got him, but I got him. So I think he's trying to make a comparison of like what we can lean on as factual. Like he can say like I actually did something, I can prove it. He got somebody, meaning, and now he's going to put forth that, oh well, we brought back moon rocks. Well, we brought back moon rocks, and I'll pull this up while this goes
Last
on.
time when they made a trip to the moon, do you believe that?
No. No, ain't nobody been there.
You don't believe they've been to the moon?
No. Ain't nobody been to no moon.
Well, Walter, that's the view of a 130-year-old man. Now back to you.
Well, Bruce, Charlie Smith is not the only fellow who doesn't believe that man has gone to the moon. It's not as ridiculous a thought as you might think, or any of us might think. Seems a little bit odd now, but I've talked to a lot of people around the world, and some rather intelligent ones who somehow or other just cannot accept the fact and believe that...
Right, see right there, they just can't accept the fact and just believe. We have video, the government said they did it. Why can't these smart, educated people just believe? Because the devil is in the details. And just like old boy, we brought back moon rocks. We brought moon rocks from the moon. What are you talking about? And I challenge anybody, again, look into this. There's countries and museums all over the world that tested the moon rock, and they're fake. They're petrified wood. All of them. Rob Skiba, the late Rob Skiba, he's got a video where him and his wife were somewhere, I think it was somewhere in Europe, I'm pretty sure it was Europe, but they went to a museum that supposedly had one of the moon rocks, and when he asked to see it, it was taken off, it was taken down out of display. And when he did more research into it, come to find out they're one of the ones that tested it, and it came back to be petrified wood. So, matter of fact, it might be the one. It actually might be this one. It's Dutch National Museum. It probably is. But look at the video. It's pretty cool. He goes to the museum, then he looks more into it, and it's because it was petrified wood. What else we got here? We got a couple more. And I will share this as well. That this is science advisor Keyworth. This was Ronald Reagan's science advisor. He says in the LA Times, this was right after the Challenger deception. Of all the organizations that I've dealt with, I've only seen one that lied. It was NASA. The reason they lie, of course, is because they are wrapped up in a higher calling. In their eyes, these are white lies. They tell lies in order to do what has to be done. Because in the end, the result will be for the betterment of the public. So they are not lying for evil, but nevertheless, they are lying. So again, this is just, it's double speak. It's literally telling you these people are lying, but it's for a better cause to keep y'all safe somehow. We can't tell you exactly what's going on. We can't show you exactly what it is. It's for the better, but we have to lie about it. And this, it's sad, man. This is very sad. That's not how you find truth. It's not how science. It's not how science and truth come about. It's not how things are investigated. That's not science. Just like old boy said, why can't these people just believe? We have a video. The American government claimed it. Why can't they just believe? Probably because it doesn't make sense to them, Bob, or whatever your name was. And this one... All right, now this one, and I got one more clip after this, kind of the same deal. Just another deception. And just to show people another thing that obviously NASA is doing. I mean, we just read that they do lie. This video and the next one is going to be interesting, I hope. All right, so this one guy's on a moonwalk. Or a spacewalk. What's going to happen is that you're going to see a piece of space debris come into picture. But how it's going to come in is it's going to come back here, like it's wherever it's coming from. But you're going to see it through the astronaut. You're going to see it through his body. And I think it's already starting to come through. Why? Because this is a layer. He is on a layer. This piece of fake space debris that's going to come in is on a layer. So this is, I mean, of course, they claim it was live, whatever. This is virtual reality. This is VR tech. Right here. There it is. Boom. One more time. Watch his body. Watch his torso. Right there. It's right there. This is layered. This is VR technology. And that's all I'm saying about it. Go watch it. Go check it out. This one I messed up.
Of the Earth.
Another one. Same deal. Again, building a case, just trying to show that, just like Keyworth said, that these people lie. If these people were actually in space, and I can show you, and this clip is going to show it even more, that if they are in space, why, if they are being true, why do they have to use the tech?
And let's enlist the help of a friend.
Why do you use
Taxi.
in space?
You might know her.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you didn't figure out by now, I'm going to be the first man to actually tell you this, that teleportation is officially real. We are live in the ISS, and guess what? Teleportation is real. Let's go back and relook at that clip again.
Because now, supposedly, if you can look this video up, this is supposedly she is live with like an elementary school. You know, very pliable minds, right? I mean, what better thing do we need to learn when we're kindergarten and first grade age than the place where only 600 people have been? Out of all the billions of people that have lived on the Earth, what, 600 people or 500 to 600 people have supposedly been to low Earth orbit? Only 12 have actually been to space, like specifically space. Like, yes, I think it's anything over 60 miles high is considered space, but only 12 people have been above where 600 people have been. So that's what we must teach children, right?
You see, now watch. Oh, wait. See, this, ladies and gentlemen, should let you know that this is only done through the usage of chroma key. This is chroma key technology. This is green screen or blue screen technology. That's what is being utilized here. This is simply virtual reality that is actually being fed to you, and you're taking this virtual reality, making it the reality. When in fact, all this is simply just virtual CGI, computer-generated images that are simply being utilized to aid with these missions of the ISS. Now, I'm going to make this as short as I can. Anyone that has experience with chroma key, or anyone who has experience with virtual reality,
To better make things work like what you just seen in that video there, how this thing just magically appeared out of nowhere, this doll, this toy, you need the aid of either a blue screen or a green screen. Now, everything we're still at
when you look at CGI, and this is 100% proof that this definitely cannot be real. These people cannot be in the space station or so, as they claim. When you look at this, I want you to see this man's arm disappear right in front of you as he goes in the corner. You see that? Once again, first of all.
So, again, it's just nonstop. One more clip here. Showing the exact same thing, but this guy's going to break it down a little bit further as to what the chick was doing. And actually, this is actually a little bit different because, well, I won't say that because the object that she brought back in, like, it was always there. They just, put a cool little, glimmer on it, and then it brought it back into picture. I mean, it's not that too far fetched. What I'm getting at here is that she still, if you watch her eyes, and you'll see this guy's eyes, there's still a screen behind the camera that they're looking at to make sure that they grab whatever they're trying to grab. That's what's going on in this.
In this clip, they're talking live feed, and we have a astronaut go by us in the background, obviously trying to give it a more realistic, spacey, station busy effect. The only problem is the camera that was supposed to mask this harness out, or the video feed, is not working. And so we see the guy come flying along in a harness on his wires. Pretty amazing. But that's not all that goes wrong here. Channel in 3D space. It's virtual reality. They're wearing augmented contact lenses so that they can interact with these 3D objects. Now, in this scene, the guy on the left in the green shirt, he thinks he sees an object in 3D space that's being broadcast to him. So he grabs it and he puts it off to the side. He's looking straight ahead because he's looking at an object rotating in front of him, but the video channel is down that is supposed to show the viewers what we're supposed to see, and so we don't actually get to see the object that he has seen. And I would just sum this up as a very terrible, bad, horrible day for NASA doing live feeds. As much fun as this was, there is a time coming when you and I will not be able to tell the difference.
My own personal collection. Good. So, and again, and just to drop some more, I know I've dropped videos and stuff like that, but I do also want to show stuff from them, what NASA says. Now, with this one, these are supposedly CIA documents that they stole from Russia. This was in 57. So these are documents from the Institute of Applied Geophysics, and that the CIA took these from Russia. So what this is describing, if you can see the verbiage, and you'll see as it zooms in a little bit, but it's using language like the firmament, and that's Bible. That word has a specific definition that most Bible scholars beat around the bush about, but we'll get into it. And these are also called sundogs. I see these all the time. I mean, a lot of people see them. I take pictures of them all the time. They're awesome. They're gorgeous. Yeah, it's cool. Yeah, so again, I love this stuff. It's great. What else we got here? Yes. And this will probably be it.
Curvature of the Earth.
After this. Probably some of y'all remember this. I think I remember watching this when it was fresh and new in elementary school.
Horizon model of science. Watch. As ships sail away, they don't disappear all at once. No, first, the bottom will disappear. See, the bottom of the ship is gone. Now we can see midway up, and then the whole thing disappears. Now, ships came back. They didn't fall off a table. So people realized that the world is curved. I mean,
see, and right here, in case you're not picking up on what's going on here, that this is the pilot house of this ship. This looks to be probably a class 3 merchant ship. This is probably the forecastle, and this is the pilot house. The rest of the boat is hidden behind the densest layer of air. Okay, this is refraction. They're not hidden behind the curve or anything. This boat is probably just a couple miles away from the viewer. But it's just hidden behind, this is natural. This is how our world works. This is how our world works. This is it.
Actually doing. And not only that, they made sure to photograph him standing there with a really wide angle lens which curves horizontal lines. So in the photo you see this curvature of Earth's surface and you say, wow, he's in space, look at that. No, he's not. At that height, you don't see the curvature of the Earth if you are 2 millimeters above this beach ball. You just don't. That stuff is flat.
So, I mean, right there, I don't think I need to break that down anymore, but I know some people, I do. But you just can't have both. So either the astrophysicist, the top astrophysicist of the world, is wrong. I mean, what does that mean? I mean, if he's right, there's millions of people that think they see the curve of the Earth. In the Navy, we think we are seeing ships disappear over the curve. You know what I mean? Like, but if you pull out binoculars or big eyes or a zoom camera, do you see them? It's just it's stuff like this. We're just in a world of confusion. It's just all chaos. This guy says one thing, even though Bill the actor guy isn't a real scientist. He's an engineer. He's not a scientist. Yeah, I mean, who are we supposed to believe, right? As it's confusing. So, again, just more information, more to share. I think that's all we got. So, but I will leave with this.
Ariel, listen to me. The human world, it's a mess. Life under the sea is better than anything they got up there. The seaweed is always greener in somebody else's lake. You dream about going up there, but that is a big mistake. Just look at the world around you, right here on the ocean floor. Such wonderful things around you. What more are you looking for? Under the sea, under the sea. Darling, it's better down where it's wetter. Take it from me. Up on the shore, they work all day. Out in the sun, they slave away. While we devoting full time to floating under the sea.